When England clashed with Ghana in the group stage of the World Cup, the entire footballing world was watching a collision that left millions staring at the exact same replay and arriving at the identical, undeniable conclusion. That is a red card. The goalkeeper had completely wiped out the attacker miles outside his penalty area. Everybody saw it. The fans packed into Gillette Stadium saw it. The millions watching at home saw it. And then, the referee awarded a free kick to the defense. The goalkeeper stayed on the pitch. The match moved on. And the one piece of evidence that could have settled the entire argument, a clear VAR review broadcast to the stadium monitors, never came. This is FIFA's worst nightmare. Not a controversial call, but a massive officiating scandal where the technology looks completely useless live on broadcast. So let us go through exactly what happened, because this one is bad. To understand why these decisions completely broke the tournament, you have to look at how this match was actually playing out. Coming off an electric 4-2 win over Croatia, Thomas Tuchel's England squad looked flat and completely lost against Ghana's deep defensive block. Tuchel built this team strictly for transition speed, leaving tight space creators like Phil Foden and Cole Palmer out of the selection entirely. When Ghana parked the bus, England's multi-million-dollar wingers were completely neutralized. Harry Kane's shocking late miss from 6 yards out was a blessing in disguise. An unearned winner would have completely masked a fundamentally broken tactical setup. Instead, this deadlock set the stage for total chaos. The chaos officially ignited in the 67th minute. With England completely choked out of ideas, Ghana launched a lethal counterattack. Substitute Prince Kwabena Edu chased down a dangerous ball over the top, forcing England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford to sprint wildly out of his box. What happened next was a textbook denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. The ball cleared both players, and Pickford completely clattered into Edu, violently wiping him out on the grass. Pickford made zero contact with the ball, only taking out the player. If this exact challenge happens on a regular weekend in the Premier League, he is getting a straight red card and a 3-match ban. Instead, Honduran official Said Martinez blew his whistle and completely inverted reality. He penalized the falling Ghanaian striker, awarding a free kick to England's defense. The field referee erred on the side of caution, protecting the traditional heavyweight, while the VAR room silently sat on its hands. It was a massive, tournament-altering escape for England. But if the Pickford collision was a missed live call, what happened in the 79th minute was a fundamental failure of the technology itself. We have to analyze this from multiple different angles, because although Ghana managed to secure the draw, had this penalty been given, they would have won the entire match. Let's look at the key frame right here on the replay. Prince Kwabena Edu was completely in on goal against the English backline. As he cut toward the center of the box, England defender Ezri Konsa launched into a desperate, flying challenge, completely missing the ball. Under IFAB Law 12, a player commits a foul if they trip, attempt to trip, or carelessly challenge an opponent. In this exact frame, Konsa stretches completely across the Ghanaian attacker and makes heavy contact without winning a single blade of the ball. He leaves the ground completely, jumping with both feet towards Prince Edu and catching him at knee height. Yet, the whistle never blew. The excuse offered up by the officiating crew was that a Ghanaian teammate was standing in an offside position later in the phase of play. But the raw video footage reveals a scandalous sequence. The violent, careless foul on Edu happened before the offside infraction ever occurred. Under FIFA's rules, VAR was obligated to step in and award Ghana the penalty. Instead, the multi-million-dollar VAR room went completely silent. While the mainstream global media quickly moved on, football fans across the internet immediately pulled out the receipts. The digital space erupted into a massive wall of noise, and the verdict from the public was completely raw and unanimous. Comments flooded in calling the officiating a blatant theft, with supporters openly shouting "Shame on VAR" and "Shame on the ref." People were literally asking if the judges were watching a football match or an episode of Karate Kid, while honest English supporters admitted the calls were heavily biased just to save TV ratings. But the anger didn't stop at the missed fouls. The frustration boiled over into a full-blown conversation about a massive double standard happening right on the pitch. A highly controversial moment went viral, showing England's Jude Bellingham covering his mouth while talking directly to Ghanaian player Jordan Ayew during a heated exchange. Fans instantly called out the hypocrisy, noting that no red card or disciplinary action was shown to the tournament superstar despite strict protocol surrounding these tense player interactions. Even with all the rules in place, Bellingham walked away completely untouched and was even handed an empty Man of the Match trophy, despite putting on an invisible performance. To the people watching, it felt like FIFA and the officiating crew were operating under two entirely different sets of rules, one that meticulously protects elite European heavyweights and another that leaves smaller nations entirely out in the cold. For decades, African football fans have carried the heavy, systemic frustration that when they reach the world stage, the marginal calls, the 50-50 decisions, and the refereeing leniency almost always tilt toward the historic footballing empires. Ask yourself this: if England had been the victims of these exact same match-altering decisions, would the media be quiet? No, the English press would be screaming from the rooftops day and night, painting themselves as the ultimate victims of a global sporting injustice. But when it happens to Ghana, the world simply shrugs, tells them to take their single point, and moves on. Except this time, the evidence left behind is too blatant to ignore. What makes this injustice cut so deep is the human story driving this Ghanaian team. Prince Adu isn't on this pitch chasing a massive corporate endorsement or a multi-million-dollar transfer fee. He hasn't even scored a single goal in this World Cup yet. Every single second he spends running himself into the ground against elite European defenders is about one thing: bringing honor back to his family and his father. He is a young player fighting for the pride of his nation, putting his body on the line, only to be clattered by a flying defender while the officials look the other way. If you are the Ghanaian Football Association right now, you cannot simply swallow this result, smile for the cameras, and take your point. You have a moral obligation to fight. You go straight to FIFA. You send the emails, you send the faxes, you call Gianni Infantino directly, and you demand a formal evaluation of what happened at Gillette Stadium. Because when a proud African nation is denied a historic victory by decisions this blatantly broken, sitting in silence is no longer an option. At the end of the day, the history books will simply record a 0-0 draw, but the global audience knows exactly what they witnessed. Ghana was robbed clean in broad daylight, and England escaped by the absolute skin of their teeth. So, what do you think? Based on IFAB Law 12, should Ghana have been awarded that penalty kick against England, or did the referee get it right in real time? Should Ghana file an official complaint to FIFA, or is it time to just focus entirely on the must-win match against Panama? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Hit that like button if you think the officiating in this tournament needs a serious reality check, and subscribe to the channel for more raw, unfiltered World Cup coverage. The beautiful game is delivering the drama, but off the pitch, the system is starting to look completely broken. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.